Hey, hey, hey. How's everybody doing today? I have a very important topic to discuss with you today. So just hang in there, alright? I want to read a post that was on a friend of mine's wall on Facebook. And it goes like this: to everyone who is calling for stricter gun laws in light of the tragedy in Tucson, may I offer this little tidbit. If guns kill people, then pencils misspell words, cars drive drunk, spoons made Oprah fat, and the government made you stupid. Remember, hold the person accountable for their actions, not the means they choose to utilize. She goes on to say she reposted this from another friend's status message. Feel free to do the same, yada yada. So I want to thank her for reposting that and getting that information to me. Now there was a response. There was many responses, something like you and 6 others like this, but don't know how many responses. Looks to be about 10 responses. About. Some people responded more than once. So we had a response. It went like this: I do not like Sarah Palin or her hateful rhetoric, but this has nothing to do with her. The guy was a nutcase, pure and simple. And the fact that he was thrown out of a community college, that takes being pretty freaking crazy, and could still get a gun, is what bothers me the most. And you can be a responsible gun owner but still get robbed. Then those nice automatic assault rifles you need for what? Get in the hands of the wrong people. I do not have all the answers, she says, but I still think guns need to be regulated, and people that buy them for criminals, the straw purchasers, need to go to prison. That is where the illegal guns get on the streets and where they get in the hands of very stupid young people. Sorry, I have seen too many of my students die or lose family members. What is your solution to stopping the senseless slaughter in our cities? Well, though she wasn't asking me, I'm going to give her the solution. And the solution goes like this. The first thing we need to do to stop the slaughter in our streets, and she's pretty much talking about inner city streets because that's where we know most of the violence is coming from. It's not the only place, but it's where the majority of it comes from. If you ever seen the movie Colors back in the day, we're talking about gangs in LA. Some pretty crazy stuff going on there. And if you ever maybe walk down the wrong street in North Philadelphia, you'll get much the same, less gangs, but the same violence. So my answer to this very hard to answer question at this point in our society is it's based on history. History, as my mother pointed out today, is his story. Okay, it's a male-dominated story. Okay, it's not her story, because it should be her story. It's her story. It's her story because she had us. You know, who's she? She is. So let me give this person an answer as to what's the solution to stopping the senseless slaughter on our streets. I'll get to the point. All right, I'm going to answer this in probably at least a threefold answer. Okay, threefold answer number one is we need to build a time machine. And with that time machine, we need to go back to, let's go back to right around when the Mayflower landed on the shores of this great land. It was great at that point. Now, the Mayflower lands, and then, you know, pilgrims were told, get out of the boat, and blah, blah, blah. They want to live on the land. They think it's, I don't know. They think it's, what do they think it is? They think it's India. Or India. Is that what they think it is? The West Indies? I don't know. Doesn't matter. But they landed here. And essentially, they were looking for a new land to move to because they were, at least were told, well, it depends what history book you read, but they were probably the downtrodden of the society that they were living in currently. They weren't upperclassmen. I mean, I'm sure an upperclassman probably paid for the journey, but they weren't really upperclassmen. Besides, it wasn't the first time a boat made it from Europe to the States. That's happened way before then. The Vikings had accomplished this task, as we now know, because we're finding dolmens all over the northeast of the United States. But that's another story for another time. So, we're building a time machine. We're going to answer the slaughter question. Slaughter in our cities. We got a time machine. We're going back to when the white man first landed on the shores of this country. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to help the Indians fight them away. Okay, whatever we have to do, we're going to fight them away. That's one way to solve this, to solve your question. How do we stop the slaughter in our streets? Keep the white man off this land. Let's go for a threefold question answer number 2. The second answer, all right, we're still going to build a time machine. And we're going to go back to, Jamestown, Virginia, around that time. We're going to go back to when the first slaves were brought to this country through the West Indies. And what we're going to do is we're going to stop that from happening. Okay, we're going to stop the slaves from coming into this country. And what that's going to do is what? It's going to, we can bring black people to this country. We can bring any other race of people into this country, but we're not going to bring them in against their will, because that's going to create what? A stigma. It's going to create a hate that's going to last for a long time throughout history, all right, or history, or whatever you want to call it. It's going to create this hate, and this hate is just it's gonna like mold into more hate, and then that more hate's going to mold into most hate, and most hate's going to keep molding hate. Threefold answer number 3 would be to go back in time with our time machine and make the white man that came here not torture and kill off the Indians the way they did, not infect them with smallpox and try to kill off large communities of them that way. As we know, the French were giving Indians blankets infected with smallpox. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to teach the white man a lesson. Okay? We're going to make him understand peace and love. Peace and love. If America was founded on peace and love, we would not have the slaughter we're seeing in our cities, because the slaughter in our cities is coming from minorities. Minorities have been shit on in this country for too long, and the only thing they really know how to do is to act out against something, to take all that hate that's inside of them from the history that they've learned, and to do something with it. Whether it's to go get an illegal automatic weapon and to shoot it at his neighbor because he thinks that's going to make him feel better. Well, that's what is happening today. Black on black crime is at astronomical levels, and instead of hip-hop, which used to bring all these issues to the surface, hip-hop is no longer doing that. Rick Ross, in an interview on RT, Russia Today, said, and he said it very well, he said, hip-hop used to talk about the issues in the inner city, in the ghetto. Now hip-hop does what? It just propagates the drug dealing attitude, okay? Because the Rick Ross, the rapper, is what? He's a fraud. He was a good guy. He was a good guy who put on this persona to be Rick Ross, Freeway Rick Ross, the American gangster. So, we're still being polluted with negativity. And until that negativity turns into something positive, you're going to continue to have this slaughter in your streets. And Martin Luther King Day is a start. Black American History Day, month. Shouldn't be on the shortest month of the year. Let's do something. Why isn't that on the same month as Martin Luther King? You know why? I'll tell you why. Because it's the first month of the year, and the white man's not going to give us the first month of the year. He'll give us second, because we've always played second fiddle to his white ass. All right, I'm going to stop before I say anything else that sounds racist. I'm not racist. I'm half white. Love my mother. She's the white one. Love her to death. I love my father. He's the black one. I'm a black Irishman. And, I guess if I looked at my own history, I would see slave trade, got my father's ancestors here. And then once my Irish ancestors got here, they were treated pretty shitty as well down on the railroads. So let's just say I come from a long line of agitation. And this is what happens when you agitate a mind for so long. It erupts. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day. I hope you find love and peace. I do listen to the Grateful Dead, and I'm grateful to have them. So you guys have a good life. If I never hear from you again, believe me, I'll understand. Peace be out.